Good morning, everybody. It's Ross Allen Skorzewski. Once again, thank you for joining me for our Wednesday morning Quick Hits. I'm excited to be able to once again share the next, 20 to 30 minutes with you. Hey, we just realized that yesterday we put out on Facebook a reminder that, hey, I'm going to be talking about to trust and protect the investment that you're making into yourself with the time of 12:30 p.m. But it's 9 a.m. We said on the show yesterday that we'll be going live at 9 a.m. So here we are. Maybe you're watching me this morning, you've got your trusted cup of coffee. Hopefully it's organic because that's just what we do here. How y'all doing this morning? Once again, thank you for joining me. I'm excited. There's a lot of things going on. I want to give a big shout out to some of my brothers from the Wellness Way in Green Bay who are down right now in Georgia. They landed in Atlanta. Dr. Patrick Flynn, Dr. Jason Nobles, and Dr. Greg Abbott. They are actually traveling, going down and investigating the area because we have our huge conference coming up in Atlanta where all the doctors across the Wellness Way, everybody from Maui all the way to Pittsburgh, from Iron Mountain, Michigan, all the way down to Florida. We have a new office coming in Largo, Florida. It's going to be amazing with Dr. Ryan Davis. We're all converging into Atlanta to do one day of personal growth and development, and then another day of clinicals where they talk about protocols and just continue their training to become the best docs possible. So, Dr. Patrick, Dr. Greg, Dr. Jason, I hope you guys have a wonderful time out on the golf course today. I hope that you at least play within your means. Doc, I think you said your first swing was going to potentially mirror what was taking place in the studio yesterday when you hit the sprinkler, but hey, at least it's not leaking. But anyways, guys, have a great time. So though, once again, thank you for joining me this morning. I'm going to continue to talk about two key words that play off of what I talked about last week. And by the way, if you have not had a chance to tune in to the previous episodes, go back. You can find them on Facebook here on the Hormone Whisperer page, and you can go back. I would encourage you. They're great tidbits of information, 20 minutes, possibly 30 minutes long, encouragement, little bits of insight that will help you go out into your day to succeed with the world around you, because that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to encourage you to be able to do. Nobody wakes up every day with the desire of going out into their professional world, out into their social world, or even into their own private, personal, relational world with the hopes that they would fail. Nobody wakes up that way. And if they do, that's because they've got some stinking thinking. If they think that way, that's because they have some insecurities. They lack confidence and they lack self-esteem. But this show is all about giving you a breath of fresh air, hopefully a different perspective for you to be able to make it through, like I always say, maybe this Wednesday to get over the hump of the week, because we always say it's hump day, hump day, hump day, right? I don't know. Let's just go with it. But you need to really get yourself to a place where you take advantage of that new day that every single one of us are hopefully being given. Take the mindset that we talked about in episode 1. Take that mindset and your perspective and change it into a way that sets you on course to go out and to be an agent of change in the world that you do life. And what do I mean by an agent of change? Go out and leave an imprint on those that you do life with every day. An imprint that is going to be towards the positive side of things. Go out and shine a little bit of your personality on the world around you. Go out and be a breath of fresh air for others. Because you know what? Everybody has to make that decision. Every day that you wake up, everybody does. I do. And let me tell you, this morning, waking up and coming to do this, I got to tell you, my mind is thinking about all the details and all the things that are taking place for Atlanta coming up here. So we're in go, go, go mode. So I'm thinking, oh man, I don't even really want to do this show. But here's the thing. I'm excited because I get to spend some time with you in the hopes that I might spill out of the overflow that within me into your cup today to get you to possibly see things in a different perspective to go out and win. So with that, I want to take a quick little peek here and see who's all joining on this morning and just give a quick acknowledgement. And by the way, We have over 600 entries, probably even after yesterday, maybe even up to 700 now entries for our Hawaii trip. Continue to comment, like and share, engage in this conversation. Get this show and the other shows that we do here from the Wellness Way out to your friends. And when you do that, your name will be entered, because coming up on April 10th, we're going to do a live drawing on the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. You have to be live in order to win, because if we draw your name and you're not live with us, you just missed a huge chance to go to Hawaii with Dr. Patrick Flynn, Fancy Nancy, and myself, and many from our other corporate office team to come and do life with us for a few days in Hawaii. That would be a real drag, so make sure you're there, present and accounted for, so that when you do have your name drawn, you can flip the table, kick your computer off, and you can scream, hoot, and holler, because you're going to spend time with us. Don't do that, though. That's an expensive little thing to do. Don't trash your office. Don't trash your home. You can spill your coffee. That's fine. But let's say hi to everybody here. Come on. It's a beautiful morning. Nadia Hughes, hello from New York City, but I'm from Texas. I love New York City. I've got a brother that lives in Montclair. He works in the city downtown in the financial district. So good morning. Love that city. Good to see you today. Dr. Jason Nobles. Hey, what's going on, my man? So look, here we go. If I botch your name, please forgive me. Christine. Bouchonville. I don't know. I'm going to throw a little bit of an accent there just to say, you know, because it sounds better. Because if I screwed up with an accent, it sounds possibly right. So good to see you this morning. Amanda, good to see you. Alyssa Boucher. Sarah Ray Frisk. Hi, Mom. Always good to see you. Thank you for coming on and joining. Katie Gills and Lizzie Graves. She's right here. She's in house. She's in studio right next to Fancy Nancy Gruzzi. Hi, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Heidi, beautiful Doris, Amanda, Dr. Brenda Hasbrock. Going to see you in a couple days in Atlanta. All right, well, let's dive in this morning, and I'll come back. Once again, before I even dive into this, I would love to see your comments. I really do appreciate the fact that you enjoy these moments that we share together on Wednesday morning. You comments that you're liking this. I even had someone say that they want to use the content from these Wednesday morning quick hits for their homeschool, teaching times with their kids. And I think that's great. What an honor. But I would love for you to possibly ask me some questions, put me on the spot, and see if I can dig down into this cranial little cavity here, which will seep down into my heart, in the hopes that I could possibly dispense some encouraging information for you. All right, so last week, if you missed, there are two words that I talked about in order for you and myself, because you got to remember, most of the time when we stand up and we start talking about personal motivation, leadership development, or growth for our own personal self-well-being, we are a lot of times preaching to the choir. We've either been there and done that, and we're speaking because now we've developed a pattern of consistency in our lives in the hopes that we can inspire others and we can bring wisdom. Or a lot of times, some people, when we speak and we're encouraging others, we're speaking because the current situation that we're going through is bringing about some necessary change in our own lives, and we get excited and we want to share that and inspire others. So remember this. I'm not speaking to you something that I'm not willing to embrace and actually bring into my life in the hopes that it becomes something that is just not head knowledge. I want it to come from this cranial cavity, seep down to my heart, and then lead out to action. And it was great because Dr. Patrick Flynn the other day in our training was talking to our staff. And like I said, every other Tuesday he does that, and it's the staff-wide in all of our offices across the United States. And he's talking about action fueled by stupidity is just stupid action. We need to sometimes stop. We need to think. We need to be a little bit more intentional with what it is that we are about to do. So when it comes to leadership and development, personal growth, we need to really sometimes take in the information for sure, pause, reflect, and then with great intentionality, act. But do so. I've got someone that just came in here. She's dancing in the background. She's my favorite Bulgarian. It is Danny Stoyanova. Good to see you this morning. But when I talk about this intentionality leading to action, it's action that is fueled by a desire for change. So instead of action fueled by stupidity leading to stupid action, We now have invested in ourselves in the hopes that as we move forward and we turn 180 degrees from the patterns of dysfunction and brokenness and bad messaging, that we can go out now with a new trajectory to experience life change and become agents of change and give life to others, because now that action is intentional and it's life-giving. It's not negative. It's not stupid action. It's positivity and it's true growth. So we talked about investing in yourself, this idea that investing in yourself is no different than the idea that if you are an individual who takes their own personal finances and begins to invest, whether it's in a business startup or whether you're going to invest in the stock market or you're entrusting it into some, IRA, I don't know, some hopeful investment that you're going to get a return on. Nobody just sticks their money in the hopes that somebody just squanders it away. You're always looking for that return. So when we say with personal growth and development, you invest in yourself in the hopes that it's going to have a positive return. So you invest, you're intentional with it. You invest in yourself first, and then you go out and you begin to invest in others. But you don't invest in others with the sole purpose of expecting them to validate what it is that you are doing in your own personal life. You go out and you begin to invest in others, knowing that at the end of the day, there might just be a few who recognize the life change that is taking place on the inside of you and say thank you, or acknowledge the change, or smile. There's the bonus factor. I do life change a lot of times now, more so than ever in my life, without expecting anything in return. Because if I'm always looking for the return right away, I'm highly bummed out. So that's why I'm saying invest in yourself, but go out realizing that investment that you're doing, this is going to bring about life 2 weeks, a month, 3 years down the road. And that pattern of consistency cannot bring about death, chaos, and destruction, unless your motives for investing in yourself are to manipulate the world in which you do life. But there always is going to be some kind of quasi-element of manipulation, and we can go off on a tangent as to what is manipulation and what isn't. But that's not for today. So invest in yourself, that was last week. And I also talked about respect. To respect yourself, to believe in yourself, to believe in the skill sets that you have been given to go out and to be able to bring life to the world around you, to be able to be a life-contributing member of some corporation or business or in your family, to make sure that your respect for yourself is there first before you give respect to others. Because if you can't respect yourself, the respect you're giving others is possibly going to be a diminished value of that word respect. And it's going to be because you have to. And there's going to be a little bit of a thorn in your side when you have to give respect. But when you establish that within yourself first, like I said, not expecting the world to, you must respect me, you must see me. But when they start to mirror that back to you, it's just another further validation of why personal growth, why developing who you are as an individual is the right thing to do. Because it really does spill over into the world that you do life, and it makes people smile. It makes them want to be around you. And let me tell you this, people can tell whether or not your personal growth and development is truly authentic. They can tell when it's just skin deep because there's a little bit of an edge to it. There's a little bit of an attitude, and they can see right through it. The problem is, most times, is we think they can't. But when they do see it and they spot it out, then that's where we have to go, shoot, I missed it. I missed it. So everything we do, everything we talk about here is intentional. So last week, respect, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Yes, that's what I need for me. And invest. But today, two words, trust. Remember the caption that I put out there? It is time now for you to trust and protect that investment that you are making into yourself for personal growth and development. And why am I using these two words? I believe, once again, that everything that we do with personal growth and development has to stem with a solid foundation on the inside of us. And I like this word of trust because a lot of times through life, circumstances and just chaos coming our way, trust is something that we give the world around us, but is sometimes the very thing that they are quick to break and to breach with us. So we develop these defense mechanisms on the inside of us in the way that we now establish trust with others. But even at the same time, I would say that we must be a people that trust and believe in ourselves first. So let's go to our trusty whiteboard this morning, and I'm trying to use some little theater skills here, so I will turn this way as to not turn my back to you, okay? So let's start off with number one. Let's go to trust. And we're going with Wellness Way colors this morning. Trust. First of all, we're going to play off of last week's theme. We're not going super cerebral here. We're not going super intellectual. I'm just going to say, number one, you have to trust yourself. I love this. I like to keep things kind of elementary because that's how my brain functions and that's how I process things. I don't need super intellectual or super cerebral conversations to go off on some deep tangent. Let's just go once again to our trusted little smartphones and dive into what we have here when it comes to the definition of trust. Firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. A firm belief. I love that. Believe in the reliability, truth, and ability or strength of. But see, what I like about this is when I throw the yourself component in first, that challenges me as an individual first to stop and ask myself the question, do I really trust myself? Do I believe in myself? Do I really believe that I've been given a set of talents, a skill set that is really meant to go out and bring about great life change in the world around me? Or do I have a mindset that is rehearsing a broken message that says I'm less than, that I'm insufficient, that I'm lacking, that I'm not worthy? That I don't have the skill sets and abilities like some others do who are so much more successful than I am. And a lot of this really does. It starts with the so-called first fruits of your day. What does that mean? That's the first waking moments of your day. What is that mindset that we struggle with? What is that broken message that has seeped in because somewhere along the line in our past, broken messaging came in through some experience? Maybe someone did break your trust. Maybe you had a horrible work relationship. Maybe you had a horrible marriage relationship, or something came in where people started speaking negative messages over you. And so instead of now having that foundation to be able to go out and do life with confidence, you now second guess everything you do, everything you think about yourself. So that idea that you trust yourself is kind of broken, and it's fractured, and it's skewed. So I want to say first and foremost, for you to be able to get to that place where you can continue to go out and to be that cleansing breath of fresh air to the life that you do life with every day, to the people you do life with, trust. Where are you at with that? We ask questions all the time here at the Wellness Way. All the time, and Doc's got 3 of them, and I will constantly bring them up because they're fabulous questions. Dr. Patrick Flynn, always asking, number 1, what are you doing to grow yourself? Number 2, what are you doing to grow your family? And what are you doing to grow others around you? To develop yourself, develop your family, develop others. Everything starts with yourself. If it doesn't start with you first, like I've said, and it'll be a constant thread, we go out and we give a diminished aspect of who we are, a diminished representation of who we are. Like I said, what do you have to give? Out of what well are you giving of yourself to the world around you? Is it a depleted well? Is it half full, or is it overflowing, willing to give life? Trust, a firm belief, reliability in the ability or strength. You've got skill sets. You've got talents. You need to trust that what you've been given is something that the world needs. It isn't by chance that you've been given the character and the personality and the skill sets and strengths that you have. It isn't by chance. You've been given them. Now you need to believe in them, develop them, grow in them, and go out and give the world just that. Once again, I always say with the proper motivation, for the proper reason to go out and just be you, is not in the hopes that everybody just gives back in return, but that you can go out and just give life. You've got to trust yourself first. I've struggled with this Why? Yes, because of negative messages that have been spoken over my own life. Not everybody struggles with this. There are some people out there that don't give a rip about what people think about them, what people say about them. They don't give two poos about what they think because they love themselves. They are so confident, and that's a good thing because some people are just wired that way, and they can go out and succeed, and it's like water off a duck's back. Those types of broken messages don't stick to them, but unfortunately, I am not one of those individuals. I hear these things, and when I hear these things, and as I have in the past, I internalize those messages, and I reflect, and I begin to go, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? Or maybe I'm not that gifted. Maybe I'm not that talented. Maybe I haven't done enough personal growth and development, and and then I go out with a skewed perspective of myself, and I really don't have much to give, and my well is depleting with every moment that I rehearse that broken message. Trust. Trust in yourself first. Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Believe in your skill sets and your strengths so that then when it comes to you being that individual that now goes out and interacts with the world around you, you can begin to trust others. And apparently the green is not showing up. So now I'm going to go to blue so that you will trust. And look at that. It's dry. So let's try it for the next one. Thank you, Lizzie. She is our new hire here at the Wellness Way. She's helping us out in our video department with Fancy Nancy Gruzy. We've got to come up with a name for her that's going to be amazing as well. I don't know. Submit some comments. Her name is Lizzie, so I don't know. We'll see. So trust others. See, that's the other hard part. When we have rehearsed negative messaging in our mind, when we've been hurt by others, when we've given trust, we are reluctant now to extend trust to others, whether it's, once again, personal or professional. But here, if you're on the job, if you're going out into the job today, you have to rely on others in order for your own personal success. You have to rely on others' skill sets, strengths, and abilities in order to reach the common good of the objective that you're working on, to reach the goal for the company that you're working for. Or maybe you're the boss, the CEO, or you're a manager. You have to learn how to trust that team that has been put into place to do the work that you're expecting them to do, that you've hired them to do. Trust. I think it's almost just as hard, number one, for myself personally to trust myself first and then extend trust to others. I find myself being able to trust others a lot more and extend grace and mercy, even in the midst when they don't follow through. I have more ability to continue to trust them because I can believe in them. I'm more quick and adapt to probably not trust myself and second guess myself personally, rather than give it to the world. That's why it starts with you first. It starts with me, so that it sets a healthy platform for me to be able to go out and truly see the skill sets. Because if you don't trust the others, you don't really recognize and value the skill sets that they have. You don't really recognize the abilities that they have for follow through. You're always hesitant. You're potentially at a place where you're quick to pick it up and then do it yourself in the midst when they've dropped the ball, instead of trusting them and walking alongside of them and breathing life into them to help them get to that next level of growth themselves. But it starts yourself, and then out of that overflow, it trickles down to others. Trust. Do you trust yourself? Do you believe in yourself? I would say that if you struggle with that, when you ask yourself that question, spend a little bit more time. Go inward. Find those places where you think that maybe broken messaging has come in and sold you a false bill of goods about yourself and how you view yourself, and you start taking those thoughts and you crumple them up and you send them to the circular file and you walk on from them, and you don't rehearse those messages that continue to bring about death in your life when it comes to personal growth and development. I think we need to do a lot more house cleaning. I think we need to reflect. We need to go inward over and over and over. Most people don't want to because it's painful. Most people don't want to go inward and reflect and to wrestle with, do I really trust myself? Can I really truly trust others? Because when we go there, it sets the stage for us to have to work on one thing first, and that's ourselves. See, we're quick. We're quick. Yeah, I love personal growth and development. I love being encouraged. I love being challenged. I love these Wednesday morning quick hits. And I wish other people would watch them. They need to hear this message because, oh yeah, boy, they got to learn how to trust me, or they've got to learn how to respect me. That's why I'm always saying, but it starts with you. Because that's where the true change begins. The change that we oftentimes look for in our lives, personally or professionally, we are looking to happen in others around us in the hopes that it validates our thoughts and our ideas and our feelings and our emotions. And I say, no, 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 no. Don't expect the world around you to change and to give you something that you're not willing to invest in yourself, believe in yourself first, and then give others. Well, what if they don't return it? I know. That's what I'm saying. Do so without expecting anything in return, because then at the end of the day, when you put your head on that pillow, you can realize and you can tell yourself, job well done. I did the best that I could today. There's more to be done tomorrow, but I am at peace. See, most people aren't at peace because they're not at peace with themselves, because they're looking for the world to give them something first. Well, I'm just tired of this. I'm the one that's always changing. Well, if you have stopped, that's the problem. I'm always changing. I expect Susie, I expect John, and why can't they change? Because you're expecting them to change for the wrong reasons. Like that catch, almost dropped it. Let's go on. I've got 1 minute and 44 seconds, but I'm going to extend this one out. This is going to be a little bit longer of a quick hit. That's why I don't say how many minutes we're going to go, because what if I say it's 15 minutes and I go 17? Then I lied to you. The next word that I want to talk to you about is protect. Number one, you got to trust the investment, trust yourself, believe in yourself, the skill sets, the strengths and abilities, but then you've got to protect that which you are pouring into yourself. Protect that which you are investing into yourself. Protect. Once again, turn this way so I can continue to smile. Wait, this is the new one. All right, here we go. Protect. Of course, A, yourself. What do I mean by that? It's simple. Already I put out there this concept that if you're expecting the world to give you something in return, it's I don't want to say unrealistic. I do think the world needs to reflect. I do think the world needs to reciprocate. I do think the world needs to extend those common courtesies of extending trust and to extend, this idea of respect, and to also invest into others when we are investing. I believe in that. I just think that if that's what you're expecting, you're going to be highly disappointed. So protect that which you are investing into yourself. As long as what you're investing is something that is going to bring about life, that it's not some selfish, narcissistic pursuit that's all about you. Because then nobody's going to respect that. Nobody's going to want to protect that. Nobody's going to want to invest in that and validate that pursuit. Okay? Protect yourself. Protect your thoughts. Guard your heart. Guard your mind. Because you know what? There's so many people that they invest in themselves. They do personal growth. They do development. And there's life change happening on the inside of them. But there are people around that are quick to tear it down. There are people who are there in your life who don't really recognize the change that is taking place. Or if they recognize the change, they don't like it. Why? Because they're not growing themselves. So when you're growing and you're moving in this new trajectory in life and you're leaving people behind because they're not choosing to change, they can begin to resent that. They can get a little bitter. But protect yourself. Realize the investment that you're making could be that very investment that's going to inspire people along the way as they work through their own issues to want to do the very thing that you're doing, to get that extra bounce in their step every day, to get that extra little portion of energy, to be a smile, to listen, and to be that agent of change. Protect your investment. You have to do that. If you are so quick to invest into yourself personally, for your professional means as well as your relational means and your private means, but you can let others tear that investment down, you're not doing a good enough job of protecting that which you are pouring into yourself. It goes back to trusting. If you trust what you're doing and you believe that what you're doing is the right thing because you recognize who you are as an individual, that you do have something to offer this world, then protect it. Don't let the world come along with their negativity and their stupidity and their ignorance, their resentment, their bitterness, or whatever it is. Don't let that spill out of their overflow and start to fill up your cup, because it will diminish. If you're not protecting yourself, it will diminish your outlook on yourself, and you'll start questioning yourself, and you'll find yourself at step one all over again. Don't do that. Protect yourself. Be careful with your emotions. I love emotions. I love them. I really truly believe that they are some of the greatest elements that make us who we are and allow us to connect with each other. But they are also something that can sell us a false bill of goods, because if we so dial into our emotions, we can find ourselves, based on how we feel, acting in a very unfortunate way, saying things out of anger, angst, bitterness, resentment. Sometimes we need to be an individual that realizes that doing what is right versus what feels right needs to permeate our mindset and our actions all the more. But it starts because you're protecting that investment that you are instilling into yourself. Protect it. Be careful also, when I start talking about emotions, what is the emotional investment that you're placing on situations in your life? Is it something that you should really get so consumed and so stressed out about and so anxious about? Does it really have to do with you? And if that's the case, then go inward, make the change, and make it right. But if it has nothing to do with you and you can't change it, don't own it. Don't make that emotional investment into something that is happening in your life, some circumstance in your relationship or your job or with your kids, your in-laws or whatever, that if you can't change it, don't put an emotional investment into that derails your day. If that emotional investment takes place and it starts appearing and it seeps down into your heart, I know people. Why? Because I've been that person, and it's robbed me of my ability to succeed with the day as a whole, possibly even days, even longer. Be careful when this idea of protecting yourself, be careful with how you take that ability to be the very life-inspiring agent of change, who's an emotional individual willing to smile, to laugh, to cry, and do all these other things with the world around you. Be careful when that negative messaging comes in, or a circumstance or something goes awry, to place an emotional investment that shipwrecks your ability to thrive. Then also, of course, as we finish up, others. Pretty simple. Is this going to continue for the next few weeks? I don't know. We'll find out. But to protect others. When we do life with each other, there's nothing greater that we can do, especially when others who are faithful, who have, the same ideas of wanting to instill trust and to believe into those that we've wanted to do life with every day, if it's on the job with Fancy Nancy or Lizzie or Dr. Patrick or Brianna or my wife or whomever that be, my mom. I want them to also know that I'm willing to not only protect the investment that I'm making in myself, but to be a person that can be trusted and respected, that I can have this degree of follow through. But I also, at the same time, I want them to know that I'm willing to protect them. I'm going to protect them in a way that says, I value you, I respect you, I'm willing to invest in you, and all of these things that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, respect, trust, invest, that I'm willing to protect even you. It's a wonderful thing. But once again, are you waiting for others to protect you first, to trust you first, to respect you, and to invest in you first? If that's the case, I'd say you're off on the wrong foot already. It starts with you. You've got to trust yourself, which spills over, as I've said, into others. You've got to protect yourself. Protect that emotional investment that you're willing and so quickly willing to give to the world around you. Protect that emotional investment that you're willing to attach to something that is either going to inspire you to do great life change or cause you to spiral out of control because it's something that you can't change and it's not your issue, but yet it's so consuming you that it shipwrecks you and it causes you to go from thriving to now internally struggling and dying. Protect yourself. And it spills over into your capacity and ability to truly protect others. Protect others also in their pursuits and their desires. And once again, please do this. As you are going out and you are becoming this agent of change and you're instilling all these wonderful growth patterns in your life, be quick to do away with the broken messaging that has been spoken over you or that you have on the inside, and then replace it with this new. But don't let others rob you of that investment and of that life change that you will experience. Protect yourself. Guard your heart. Guard your mind, but do so in a way that still lets people in to experience the wonderful elements and qualities and characteristics and attributes of who you are. Finally, here I say this to everybody. Natalie, good morning from, I'm going to say Quinnipiac. Good to see you this morning. Tina Robertson, Langford, awesome. Hey, Jessica Reynolds. Good to see you. And I really do. I appreciate that you guys would want to choose to spend 34 minutes with me on this Wednesday morning. I know this because I struggle with it. Personal growth and development is not easy. If it was, everybody would be a gem of a human being. Everybody would do it, but it's not easy. That's why we always say it starts with you. It starts with me. When does your growth path start? When does this new trajectory for you start? But once again, it can't stop. Don't start and stop. Start and stop. Most people stop because they're looking for the world to do this. Because I had somebody ask me this. It was a great question from one of our doctors from one of our offices, because he and I are doing these personal growth calls every week. And he asked me, he's like, okay, I've been doing this stuff now for about a week. We're talking about just new patterns of professional skill sets that are going to bring about life, making lists, making sure that we are men of consistency, that we're following through. And I said, hey, brother, you got to work on this with me as well. I said, I'm giving you the right to also ask me that same question because it's something I struggle with. But he asked me, he's like, how do I know when I'm winning? How do I know when this growth pattern is really consistent? Should I be asking people to validate or to tell me that they see growth? And I said, hold up. Okay, number one, there might be a couple people that you have in your life that can actually tolerate that question. I don't think anybody should be going into a new pattern of growth, leadership, and development with the hopes that they can go out and start asking the world, hey, do you see the change taking place in me? Hey, do you see that? Do you like me now? Am I a better person because I feel stronger? Do I look stronger? Whatever that looks like. No. You do for you first so that when you go out into the world, maybe in time they'll see the change and then they will start to reciprocate. They might say something. Who knows? But you don't do this in the hopes that the world validates you. Now, for this gentleman that I'm making the phone calls with, I said, you can ask me that. Because I'll tell you, because I'm working with you. We're walking this path together. So if this doctor comes to me and says, hey, man, I know we've been talking for the last month. Do you recognize growth in me? I can say yes. You know why? I can hear it and I can see it. And I've talked with others and I've asked, has anything changed? Because I now from the outside can come in and get a different perspective. But you don't need to be on the pursuit of, hey, do you like who I'm becoming as an individual? Because that just sounds like arrogance. That just sounds like narcissism to me. Change for you. Begin to be that change for others. Start it with you, and the world will, in time, follow you. That's why we do this. And that's why I'm just saying, you can't start and stop. Start and stop. Stay motivated. Stay encouraged. It is Wednesday. Make the most of the rest of this day. Get excited about Thursday. Don't just live for the weekends. We are super excited to continue to have us dive into our shows. I thank you once again. Thank you for doing life with us this morning on this Wednesday morning quick hit. Once again, I'm Ross Allen Skorzewski. I can't wait to look at the comments and reply. Continue to like and share. Tell other people about the show because maybe they need just a little bit of encouragement to start off their Wednesday morning as well. Thanks for joining.